right. Good evening, good afternoon from Kansas City's global community radio station, KUAW Radio. Hey, how you doing this evening? This is George Walker with the BFTAA and More Show, and we are glad to be joining you as we go into the second week of the new year. That's right, 2023 is here, and we're ready to move on forward. We've done the celebration, we did the holidays, and Kwanzaa has come and gone, and New Year's and Christmas and Thanksgiving. Now it's time to get to work, to get the new year going and stuff, and that's what we're looking to do right here at KUAW Radio. KUAW Radio is a partnership of the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center and the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. They come together to form a radio station called Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom, KUAW. So you can listen to us live on KUAW dash radio on Facebook. On YouTube, it's KUAW space radio. And on Twitter, we're KUAW_radio. And you can also pick us up at KUAW Radio on Twitch. So we're coming to you live and in living color and wanting to bring you some of the news that's going on with technology, some of the things that are happening in the community, and some things that are just good to know. So that's what we're here about. Now, you can listen to the broadcast of KUAW Radio 24 hours a day on the internet. We're streamed on a lot of different services. We're on Get Me Radio. We're on Online Radio Bot. We're on MyTuner, on our KUAW.org site, on the Radio Garden. So if you just go to Google or to whatever your search engine is, Siri, and tell it to play KUAW, you'll pick us up. We're also on your smart speakers, your Google and your Amazon smart speakers. We're on Roku. We're on Apple Fire. We're on a lot of the streaming websites. So all you have to do is search for KUAW Radio, and we're going to show up in a whole lot of places. And that's a good thing. We're growing and we're expanding, and we're going to be going out on even more sites as the year goes on. One of the things that we want to do, not only to keep getting kids and young people involved and families involved in technology, but we're wanting to spread this knowledge of all the STEM fields: science, technology, engineering, math, even the arts, the STEAM, the C, the communications, all of that. That is a product, that is a way for our communities to advance, for lifestyles to be improved. And that's what we're about. And right here at the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, we're working on it. So there's a lot of new shows coming. We're going to get to talk about those in a little bit. We're also wanting to talk about some of the things going on in finance. So we're getting ready to move right now. We always bring you some information from NASA. So we don't have what's up at NASA this week. I think they're still taking themselves a little break. They're enjoying this time off. But that's okay. They deserve it. But we're going to bring you what's up at NASA, and we'll talk a little bit about what's going on the space station, space to ground. So that's what we're going to bring to you right now, is this week's edition of Space to Ground from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. That's NASA, the people that brought you the Hidden Figures, you know. But here we go, Space to Ground.
Happy New Year and welcome to Space to Ground. I'm Chelsea Bayarte. The astronauts in orbit celebrated their holiday season with some much-deserved time off, a special holiday meal, and views of the first sunrise over Earth on New Year's Day out the window. But, like many of us here on Earth, it was back to work this week. Aboard the International Space Station, the focus was science. So we know that space food isn't the most fresh, and we also know that prepackaged food has a tendency to lose vitamins and nutrients over time. One experiment called BioNutrients 2 aims to keep the astronauts healthy on long-duration missions where fresh food is even harder to get. This is an experiment NASA astronauts are working on all this week with the goal of producing nutrients using a process similar to fermenting food. To run this experiment, they're using 3 things: yogurt, kefir, and a yeast-based beverage, and no, it's not beer. In addition to getting their nutrients through packaged food, astronauts sometimes get to play farmer and grow nutrient-rich crops to eat. Dwarf tomatoes are growing aboard the International Space Station's vegetable production system. They're being grown under 2 different light sources to study the difference in fruit yield, nutritional composition, and microbial levels. Of course, astronauts get to eat their crops when their experiment is done, and they'll be asked to rate their flavor, texture, and juiciness. However, harvest time is not here yet, and the astronauts will spend this week checking on the plants and watering if necessary. Speaking of crops, how does microgravity affect the germination of carrot seeds, quinoa, or basil? The researchers hoping to learn more are actually students, and they don't all revolve around food either. There are 26 experiments in all, and the students are as young as 5th graders all the way up through the college level. NASA astronaut Frank Rubio and Japanese astronaut Koichi Wakata will work on those for the students this week. This research is made possible by the cargo spacecraft that deliver them to the space station, so the humans in orbit can begin working on them. Sometimes these space freighters can even deliver some science experiments back to their researchers on Earth for further evaluation. Early next week, SpaceX's 26 cargo resupply mission will depart the space station, bringing home its onboard science 2 days later. That's Space to Ground for this week. Thanks for watching. Keep up with all of these experiments and more by following @ISS_research on Twitter. You won't want to miss it.
All right. That's Space to Ground. And I know that the people at Esteem Village and William Wells have been involved in sending some space experiments up to the space station. And that's always a good program. We like to get our young people enthused and working and doing some of the things that people don't think are always available to a lot of kids, especially in the urban core, but it is. It just takes the hard work of some adults to make all of it possible for our young people here. So we want to encourage everyone to be like the people at Esteem Village and the volunteers we have at the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, at Urban Tech, at We Code KC, and all of the groups, even those that I don't know, around here in Kansas City that are working in the core of Kansas City to bring opportunities and awareness to a lot of the young people in there. I was over at Operation Breakthrough and looking at the work they're doing in their lab, and it's fantastic. The young people are getting a chance to stretch themselves, stretch their minds, stretch their creativity. And that's always a great thing. So hats off to everybody that is teaching some after school and out of school science and robotics and all of the STEM fields. Thank you, and let's keep up the good work as we go into 2023. Now, one of the things I did want to talk about a little bit is what goals are we going to set? So we need to set goals so that we can have something to shoot for as the new year comes. We don't want to just go into the new year and say we're going to do better than we did last year. Now, what are we going to do? So at the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, we're going to start setting goals. We've already looked at some projects that we have lined out for this year, but we want to write them down. We want to make it on a chart. We want to see if we can accomplish the things that we want to do, and we want to keep shooting for them and being able to measure that we're getting that way. So goals are very important, not just for organizations, but for individuals. What are you going to do in this coming year? What are you doing to improve, to get better, to help, to serve? It can be a lot of different things. It's just whatever your goal. Everybody's goal is individual. It doesn't have to be something huge and gigantic. It can be something that most people wouldn't even notice. But if you notice it, then that's good enough. So think about that. We're into the new year, so we need to be setting goals if we have not set goals already that we can start shooting to. Goals that are measurable, something that you'll know if it's going well, if it's not going well. So that's the thing that we want to bring into our organizations, and we hope that you'd like to bring it into your organizations. We want to work more collaboratively throughout this year, working with other groups and other organizations, because no one organization can serve all the needs of all the people. And we need to work collaboratively. So that's one thing that I've said in myself, is to make sure that our organization works with other organizations throughout this city in order to continue to grow and to make our work even more efficient, and to just, cross-pollinate each other. And by working together, you bring in that diversity, you bring in different thought patterns and things like that. So that's something that we're going to be working on this year. And I will be setting a number of groups that I do want to work with. No particular group, but I just want to say if we're going to collaborate with 4 or 5 different organizations this year, we want to make that down and make sure that we do it. So that's something that we have coming up this year, and by our February meeting, I want to have that all down for the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. And if you would like to be a part, or if you'd like to find out what we're doing and how you could help, or if you just want to sit in on a meeting and see what it's all about, we do a Zoom meeting every month, the first Saturday in every month at 11 a.m., we have a Zoom meeting for the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, which includes KUAW Radio. So if you would like to be involved in those meetings, if you would just like to get the link so that you can come in, you don't have to join, you just may want to hear what's going on and see if there's some way that you may can help, or if it's something that you like and want to be involved with, you can do it. So if you would hit us up on Facebook or on YouTube, or with an email, you can email us at BFTAA@sbcglobal.net. That's BFTAA@sbcglobal.net. Or you can hit us up on Twitter. We're Twitter. We're on KUAW_radio, or the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, BFTAA, on Twitter. So if you want to send us the information, you can give us a call too at the number that's going by on the top, 816-599-6893, and leave a message, and I will get you the link so that you can join our Zoom call. So hit me up on Facebook. Leave a message in Messenger or whatever, and how I can contact you, or your email, and I will get you a link so that you can join our meeting. I don't want to just put it out there on the screen for everybody. I want to know who I'm sending it to so I know who to expect on the call. But if you would like to join one of our meetings, if you just want to listen in like a fly on the wall, that'll be fine. We want you to come in and see what BFTAA is doing, what our meetings are about, what our goals will be. So all this month, I want to make that offer to you that the first Saturday in February, we're going to be doing an open meeting. We'd like to have as many people as possible to join and listen in and see if there's something that they might want to help out with, may want to work with the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. So this is a public organization, 501c3, and anyone can join, anyone can help out. We do not discriminate. If you're under 18 years of age, though, you do need to have a parent or a guardian to work with us to help you get signed in and make sure that it's okay with them. But other than that, there is no discrimination of any type. We accept everybody because we don't want to turn down no help. That's for sure. This is we're not overflowing with volunteers. So if you come in, if you listen, if you say, hey, I'd like to see a little bit more of that, you can always stop by the WEB Du Bois Learning Center. Let me know. I can give you a tour of what we've got here. In our little 2 rooms or 3 rooms that we work in, and we'll be glad to share some time with you. So if you'd like to come and visit the facility, hit me up on Facebook, on YouTube, send us a message, email BFTAA@sbcglobal.net, or to KUAW985@gmail.com. Any of those ways that you can get in touch with us, or you can leave a message on our phone line, 816-599-6893. So we'd love to talk with you, and we'd love to get you involved if you're in the community and you make a goal this year that you're going to volunteer, then this is a group that you can volunteer with. Your organization can even volunteer with. If you want to volunteer as a group, a sorority, a fraternity, a neighborhood club, we can use all volunteers. So we hope that you think and consider becoming a part of just associating with the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. I thank you for that, and this commercial is totally unscripted and unpaid. So, we're just trying to get the information out to you. Now, one of the other things I want to talk to you about is we were going through some financial things. Me and my wife was talking about it because families, as all families do, things come up. And you hear a lot of talk about financial literacy, but are you working on it, and what do you know about it? What is your financial literacy level? Because a lot of times we don't plan, and when things happen, we're in chaos. It starts with having life insurance and health insurance, but just having a savings plan, just having a regular savings that you do, retirement planning, all of those type of things we need to be considering. And the sooner that you start thinking about those things, the more you can plan for things so that you're not caught always off guard and you're always running from putting out one fire to another fire. Because we haven't planned financially. You know, we're not saving, we're not budgeting, we're not putting together an emergency fund. You know, they say that you should have anywhere from 3 to 9 months of living expenses as an emergency fund. You should have an emergency fund for car repairs. But if you would save, and you can't get that 3 to 6 months saved up overnight, but if you would start putting some money away, that's going to be the emergency fund. It's not for paying bills. It's not for entertainment. It's not for clothes or any of that. This is money that's going to be for a true emergency. It could be the car, because it's a car breaking down where you can't get to work is an emergency. It could be for your furnace. It could be your air conditioner, any of that type of stuff. And you may not can save a lot, but if you can put $5 or $10 back a month, if there's a credit union at your job, you know, if you start having it directed right out of your paycheck into a savings thing, that would be a good way to start. But you should start saving some money on a regular basis. Your financial literacy is very important. And if you wait until you're retiring to think about saving money for retirement, it's kind of late. But if you're 30 or 40 years old right now, or even if you're 20 years old, if you want to start planning for retiring early, say you don't want to work all of your life on a job, then this is the time to start saving money for it, to start putting something away. That 401k that they talk about at your job, hopefully you're in it, that you're putting some money in it and that you're not pulling it out every month because something happened. You know, we need to have it where it starts building up. You want your 401ks to grow. That's going to be a retirement. And if you just put in $5 or $10, a lot of times your company will put in a certain matching amount. Sometimes it's 10%, 5%. Some companies will match it 50%. You know, if you're really with a good company, they might match you dollar for dollar with whatever you put in there. But whatever it is that you can save and that your company can even add to it for you or with you, then that's money that is more added to your income. You know, because if you're making $10 and you put it in and save it and they give you $5 on it, well, that's added income for you. You may not have that added income to spend right today, but in the long run, it's going to be beneficial. So we were talking about that. We were talking about planning, talking about our insurance needs. One thing that I found out is that life insurance, when you leave a company, can start going down. They start taking it down. You don't have a choice about it. It ain't like you say, well, I want to keep the same $100,000 that I had in life insurance. They say, no, you retired now. You're not paying into it. You're not working. We're going to cut it down to where you'll have $50,000 or you may have $25,000. So you may even look at, do you want to have your own outside life insurance policy that would be beneficial, that would be yours, that you're paying for, that nobody can cut it down or anything without you having some say-so in it. Those are things that we have to look at, and we have to talk about that with our family members. We have to talk about it to the young people in the family, because everybody doesn't think about retirement or serious about it. But one thing is we have to do it, and then we have to encourage others in our family to do it. Saving money, building it. People talk about generational wealth and all of that. Well, it's got to start somewhere. And it doesn't have to start with a large amount. If you look at some of our ancestors, they started back saving with pennies, with putting dimes, with putting quarters in banks to buy houses or to buy a piece of land or whatever, but they saved money. And that's one thing that we need to make sure that we're doing. I know a lot of you are, but there's a lot of people that are not, and they're living from payday to payday. And you say, yeah, I just don't make that much. But, people have been getting raises, and you should find a way to pull a little bit of the money that you get out for savings. Some kind of way, if you have to cut down going out to eat, McDonald's is getting high now, you drive in there. I heard Pastor Canty the other day said they stopped at some fast food places, just 3 of them, and one's a little girl, and it was $30-something. It can get expensive even at fast food now. So, we may think a little bit more about them sandwiches that they used to carry, packing that bag, that lunch or something when you leave out, so that you don't spend $10, $12, $15 on a lunch that could be used for savings. No, the food that you carry isn't free, but food that you make yourself, that you carry yourself, is still cheaper than eating out. Now, some people will tell you, well, it costs so much to eat at home or to get the food and to cook it, I'd be cheaper eating out. Bull. There's hardly any way that you can eat out and it'd be cheaper than the food that you can make at home. Now, you don't want to run out and buy filet mignon at home and say, well, that's getting high and stuff. But you can generally eat for less if you do a lot more of your own food preparation. So if that's what you have to do to be able to save $5 or $10 or $15, think about it. What's more important is to have that $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 saved up in case the car breaks down, or to go to Mickey D's and spend $15, $20 on a couple of Big Mac fries and Cokes. So that's something that we need to look at and we really need to consider. If you want to do it, it's on you. But I'm thinking and I'm not saying that you don't go out to eat at all. We go out to eat. My wife and I, usually on the weekend, we'll go out to eat. I've been trying to stop buying as much out to eat through the week so that, okay, we got a few dollars, we can go out Friday night, or we go to the show Friday in the day and then go get something to eat. And yeah, it costs. 2 of us can go to eat somewhere. I mean, Red Lobster, you can drop $40, $50 now at the blink of an eye. So we have to be conscious of where our money's going. Not that we're going to stay at home as hermits and stuff, but be conscious of any way that you can make a little bit of dent in your expenditures if you can start saving some. So that's my thought about financial literacy and something that you need to be looking in on. If you don't have a financial planner or somebody to help you with it, there are plenty of them around. And that's not a bad way to get started, is to talk to somebody that's a professional in financial planning. There's plenty of them that can talk to you and even just tell you how to balance out what's in your 401k, and they'll give you those consultations, that the first ones anyway, for free. Now, as you keep going, you're probably going to have to pay them some money, but that's, if they're really helping you, it's worth it. It's like paying the doctor when you get sick. Well, then you can pay a financial expert, a planner, a consultant or something like that, or even at your bank. A lot of banks can help you with financial planning. So if you've got a bank, you want to go there. If there's a new credit union that opened that's for the community right here in our community up on 31st and Prospect, we finance, or something that's a community credit union that just started. Some of the people right in the community started. I know Ajamu Webster and the National Black United Front worked on it. They worked over 10 years to get a credit union for the people, ran by the people in the community. And it's open now in the Linwood Shopping Center, and you need to go check it out. And they've got people in there that can help you with setting up financial plans. A lot of banks will do that, or credit unions will do that, and it's a service. So if you're banking somewhere, tell them you want to talk to somebody about financial management. Don't be ashamed. Everybody needs to learn a little bit about finance, and we don't all know it right off the bat. So it'd be something for you to check out. All right. So we'll move on a little bit from that because I want to talk about, as we're talking about money here, one of the things we want to look at is I saw an article that Tesla has been denied a retrial following a multi-million-dollar racism verdict. So Tesla was trying to get a retrial, and a judge has denied it to him right now. Says, according to reports, Tesla's attempts were denied by District Judge William Orrick, despite the company requesting a new trial over liability and damages brought to the case by black worker Owen Diaz. The car giant has attempted to overturn the racism verdict, but the court still denied their advances. The exact reason that Judge William Orrick refused to give Tesla a retrial is unknown, but still, considering the past accusations, those who have experienced racial abuse in the workplace must have had their voices silenced by more giant, who have had their voices silenced by more giant corporations. So it says, earlier this year, former elevator operator, and this is what happened, Owen Diaz, accused the company of racial discrimination. In the past year alone, Tesla, and this was 2022, Tesla has faced at least 10 lawsuits from different workers alleging the workplace embraced a culture that encouraged racial discrimination and sexual harassment. Despite denying any mistreatment of black workers, Diaz was awarded $136.9 million in damages, thought to be the largest verdict in an individual race discrimination in an employment case. Tesla was found to have turned a blind eye to the racial abuse or the racist abuse that Diaz suffered while a contract worker at the company's factory in Fremont, California, including being repeatedly called the N-word by a supervisor. However, a few months later in April, the award was slashed to $15 million after U.S. District Judge William decided that the jury verdict on punitive damages was too high. Diaz refused to accept the reduced amount, and his lawyers pushed for a new trial, which is set to go ahead in March of 2023. So Tesla then requested a retrial. As Tesla had already been deemed liable for discrimination, their lawyers argued this would skew the jury's decision in the trial over damages. The case needed to be tried from the start over both liability and damages with a brand new jury. However, this retrial request has been denied. So Tesla was found guilty of allowing racist behavior to go on at their plant in Fremont, California. The guy was awarded $136 million. One district court decided that was too much, and they cut it down to $15 million, but he wouldn't accept it. So he said he wanted to go back to trial. He didn't want the cut down amount. So the new trial is going to start, not a new trial, but a trial over the damages is going to be held in March of this year. So that's something that if you've been a victim of, that you may want to look at things like this. But you might follow it in March to see how this case turns out of racial discrimination and sexual harassment against Tesla's Fremont, California plant. So that's something that we always want to be aware of. And if you have been abused or if you have faced racial abuse, report it. Tell somebody. Take it up. You may not end up going to court, but let your supervisors know, or if it's the supervisor, let somebody higher up know what is going on, because if you take the abuse and don't say anything, it won't stop, and it will keep eating at you to where you end up on the losing end of it. So make sure that if you face any kind of discrimination, any kind of racial abuse or sexual abuse or harassment, report it. Your company should have a reporting process. If not, go to an outside lawyer and report it. But make sure that you don't take that abuse without saying something. All right, all right. Now, the other thing that we want to talk about is new programs. And we're going to have a new program. We just had a meeting Saturday that some young people are going to be running right here at KUAW Radio. We're not going to disclose what it's about or anything like that, but I was really impressed with the people that came into the studio for our meeting Saturday. And they're wanting to start a program, and they're going to start it on Martin Luther King Day. So that's going to be one of the things that'll be happening brand new right here on KUAW. As a matter of fact, it's going to happen on Mondays at 7 p.m., a new show, and they're kicking it off on Martin Luther King Day. And we're going to have young people not only sitting at the tables and doing the talking, but they're going to learn how to do the work here that I'm doing right now on the boards with switching it in, getting the live broadcasts up, getting the streaming going, all of that. They were asking me questions about our demographics and how do we pull down the reports and stuff, and they had me really going. But I thought, this is great. I want to see some young people that want to learn whatever it is you learn. You know, you might not want to be in radio, you may not want to be in technology, you may not want to be an announcer, but you should want to be something. So whatever it is that you want to be, work at it, study on it, read about it, find other people that are doing what you want to do, and get involved with that, because we all should have some dreams and goals in our lives. And one of the worst things you can say is, I don't know what I want to do. Well, try and do something, you know, because if you don't do anything, nothing's going to come to you. But if you're out there swinging at the ball, sooner or later, you're going to hit one. So that's the best thing you can do is get out there and try. And what you try at first may not work. You may have to try 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 things. But you got to keep trying. You got to keep going up to the plate. You got to keep going out there. And you just can't sit back and twiddle your thumbs and expect that something is going to happen. So that was one thing I want you to be Martin Luther King Day, January the 16th, right here at 7 o'clock on Martin Luther King Day. We're going to have a new show with some young people that are going to be running it. They'll be following B. Michael, who's here on first and third Mondays. So Monday is going to start picking up to be one of our power nights. Tuesday has been carrying a lot of power for a long time, but now we're starting to build some shows on Monday, so we're really glad about that. We're also going to try and expand a little bit of our radio broadcasting as far as some of our syndicated shows and things. We're going to bring in some more gospel music and try to find us a new blues show that we can add to our blues show that is playing. So be sure and listen to KUAW Radio on the radio side, the audio only side. If you've got a Bluetooth connection in your car, on your phone, just go to KUAW and you can listen to 24/7. We're on the air. We just got through with a show from one of Kansas City's growing, getting more popular comedians, Miss Janelle Banks, and she's on our show every first Monday of the month, second Monday of the month. So you can join in for the Comedy Power Hour and hear some things about the industry, hear some things that are going on the funny side. And we'd like for you to be involved with that or listen and check that out. So we've got a lot of shows. Go to our website. You can see a listing of the shows and what time they're on. Be sure and check that out. So if you go to www.kuaw.org, you can find out the information of any shows that are coming up. I'm be updating that over the next couple of days to make sure some of the new shows that we have will be getting on there. We also have the sports show, one of the best sports shows in Kansas City, which is Any Given Sunday with the awesome voice and Coach 24. They come on here every Thursday at 6 o'clock, and they do a great show on sports, talking about Chiefs, talking about baseball. I guess they're going to be getting into the basketball now because that's really going big. But we got a little bit more football to finish out there. We want the Chiefs to go all the way. So they got a bye week coming up. I won't take everything that they've got, but we know the Chiefs get a week of rest, and hopefully that doesn't make them rusty, but that they come out more fired up when they come back for the championship. And we definitely would love to see another Super Bowl come to Kansas City. So that's my show for today. I hope you've enjoyed. I'm glad that you were here with us. This is the BFTAA and More Show. I am your host, Louis George Walker. You can join me here every Monday at 5 p.m. Tune in, lock it in, and come in to the BFTAA and More Show right here at KUAW Radio. So I'm going to get ready to get out of your way, and we're going to take it back to our recorded shows, our music and stuff that'll be going on the rest of the evening. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the show. Let me know what you think about it. Send me a note. Hit me up on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. Tell us what you like about the show. Tell us what you like about the radio station and what we're planning on doing. Let us know if you want to get involved with the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, with KUAW Radio, with our robotics teams, with our new drone program. Yeah, I didn't even mention that, but we're going to be starting a new drone program where our kids that were in our Lego program are going to be starting in our drone program. So we're going to do our first drone program that'll be starting up January the 21st. I think the parents and students orientation will be January 21st, and January 28th, they'll actually start their first classes. So we're going to have some drones working. They just got through working with the Lego robotics, and they were in the Lego competition. So now we want to take them a little bit farther, dig a little bit deeper. So we got some drones that we want them to learn how to fly, how to program, and study what flight is all about. There's a science in that, not just the flying of the drones, but you have to know aerodynamics. You want to know about the wind. You want to know about the light, everything that's going on as you learn these drones. They're going to learn how to program them. They're going to learn how to fly them, and they're going to learn how to do different things with the drone. So wish us well with this first group of kids that we're bringing in here. It's new, but it's got an enthusiastic teachers that are working with them, and these young people have just worked on Lego, and we've got some enthusiastic young people. So I think as we get to working on those drones and actually seeing something fly in the air, and hopefully by the time spring comes, we'll have some that are proficient that we can go outside and show it to the world what our young people can do. So keep following KUAW and the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, because we're going to keep working and keep doing things to bring technology into the community so that people can improve their standard of living, that they can be aware of the technologies out there and how we can use it to make our lives better. Thank you for listening. We'll see you again next week. This is George Walker signing off for the BFTAA and More Show.